Good morning and welcome to our Zoom worship service. I am the Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Stevens, and with me today is UUCP's new animal chaplain, Dr. Leanne Parker. We'll hear a little bit more about what an animal chaplain is and does later in the service. We preface our service this morning by acknowledging that the land on which our homes and our church were built was not uninhabited when European settlers arrived here with their ideas of conquest and ownership. For those of us who live in Moscow, Pullman, or other nearby communities, we live on the ancestral homelands of the Nimipu, called Nez Perce by the French-speaking traders, the Palouse and the Shitshroomsh, called the Coeur d'Alene. If you're joining us from another place, I encourage you to discover who inhabited or moved through the place where you now live in the times before colonization and genocide and where they are now. We pause for just a moment to remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all her peoples. And now I invite you to join voices for our words of welcome, our unison chalice lighting, and our sung affirmation. So say with me these words. Whoever you are, wherever you've come from, whatever your beliefs, whomever you love, and however bumpy your life's journey, know that you are welcome here. We're hoping that you have a chalice or a candle to light and something to light it with. Let's go ahead and light those together.
Hi, we're the Stewarts. I'm Lena.
I'm Juliet.
And I'm Lex. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share.
From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung in every land by every tongue.
Good morning again. Today, we are celebrating the web of all life. In particular, we're lifting up our pets as members of the beloved community. In the words of my colleagues, Tracy Sprouse, we take time once a year to give thanks and bless our companions in life. Cats and dogs, birds and chickens, turtles and fish, and so much more. This ceremony acknowledges that our lives are made fuller and richer by the creatures that inhabit the earth with us, not just those that live with us. Animal blessings originate out of the Catholic tradition. However, many Unitarian Universalist congregations have adopted this practice and have made it a uniquely UU type of blessing. Our seventh principle, which states that we are all a part of an interconnected web of existence, is the underlying motivation for many of our services. Now, some of you were able to come to the in-person blessing earlier this month, and I'm still available to come to your home if you'd like a special blessing. And I bet our new animal chaplain, Leanne, would be willing to do that too. But in this time of COVID, I just want to affirm that every one of us has the capacity to confer a blessing on our animals or on anything or anyone else we'd like, for that matter. To bless is simply to be fully present to the miracle of another being, not as object, but as subject. An I, thou moment. We confer a blessing when we acknowledge the mystery and the beauty of another and offer care, respect, or reverence, and a wish for their well-being. There's nothing magic about it, nor is it rocket science. So I hope that when the time comes, if you can get your pet to sit still, you can offer them a three-dimensional blessing, even as the rest of the community holds them in our love. But first, let's sing. Our opening hymn this morning is Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We have changed up the words just a little bit.
Come, come.
So today seems like an especially auspicious day to recognize and install a new member of our pastoral care team. Leanne Parker has completed the training to become an animal chaplain. Leanne, would you please tell us a little bit about what an animal chaplain does and why you feel called to the work?
Yeah, animal chaplaincy is also sometimes called veterinary or pet chaplaincy, and it's an emerging type of pastoral care focused on grief and loss. When beloved companion animals die, we often feel stranded in our sadness because many in the larger community do not recognize the depths of our grief. Animal chaplains provide support in the grieving process and validate the often profound despair we feel. We can also help with anticipatory grief and supporting veterinarians and the veterinary healthcare team who experience higher than average suicide rates. Lastly, we support the grief and loss many of us feel with respect to environmental degradation and species loss. My efforts could include pastoral conversation, book recommendations and online resources, creating a ritual for the goodbye process, acknowledging and recognizing continuing bonds with our pets that have passed, and eventually a community-wide grief group that is devoted to animal loss. I was called to animal chaplaincy through my affiliation with the Unitarian Universalist Animal Ministry, not only because of my own connection to animals, but also because of my desire to help others know they are not alone in their despair over saying goodbye to those they love, even if the wider cultural message minimizes or trivializes this loss.
Animal chaplaincy is such a wonderful addition to our pastoral ministry. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend the training. And we're just really lucky to have you and delighted to install you today. Leanne, you heard within your heart a call to serve as an animal chaplain to the other members of this beloved community. You explored that call through training and personal reflection. Today, I ask you, are you ready to answer the call and begin to serve? If so, say, I am.
I am.
As you offer this service, will you always do so with a deep respect for the dignity of each person and animal, offering the differences among us? Will you trust in the deep healing powers which stir within and among us? Seek to grow in your capacity to love and to care, and strive for excellence in your skills? If so, say, I will.
I will.
You are committing yourself, your time, and your presence to care for our needs. Thank you for your courage and your compassion. We honor your decision to serve among us. We entrust you with the responsibilities this entails, and we will support you as you move with us to make this program a loving reality.
I take seriously the trust that is being placed in my hands and will serve to the best of my abilities. I will bear witness to all of what life has to offer, withholding judgment, offering unconditional acceptance and love. With faith in the power of quiet presence, I hope my work will serve to affirm the sacredness of all life and strengthen the bonds of community.
We hereby install you as the animal chaplain of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Palouse. We affirm with gratitude your calling to serve our community. We give you a stool. As a symbol of this new role you've willingly accepted in our community. I also bless you. I saved back a little bit of the water from the water communion with water gathered by our community this fall. May your hands hold pain, complexity, and sadness with tenderness and care. May your eyes see the holiness in each being you encounter. May you listen without judging and hear without fixing. May your heart remain open, and may you trust its ability to settle back into peace over and over again. With deep gratitude for the gift of your presence and with faith in your capacity to love and to heal, we welcome you into the ministry of spiritual care. All right, everybody go like this. This morning, we're also lifting up the animals that we've lost over the years. These losses often go largely unacknowledged, but the grief that we feel is real and profound. Here are some of the animals who took a piece of our heart with them when they died. When we adopt pets, we know they'll only be with us for a brief time. The species we listed at the end, meanwhile, are gone forever, and they leave holes in the interdependent web of life. There's nothing we can do now to save them, but we can remember them, and in remembering, offer them a type of immortality. I invite you to join me now in the litany, we remember them, for Pat and the animals. At the rising of the sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. I invite you now into a time of meditation or of prayer. Look into the eyes of an animal. Do this for real if you can, and if not, bring to mind a past encounter and hold it in your imagination, or look at the photographs on your computer screen. And as you look into those eyes, reflect that this being is a never to be duplicated expression of the universe. Pay attention to what you see, the years of living present within those eyes, and the vitality that shines through their color and transparency. Contemplate their shape. Notice the angles and curves of individuality that make the face of this creature a unique work of art, crafted by time and desire. And as you look into this being's eyes, pay attention also to what you cannot see, the inwardness, the selfhood, the I that is as singular as its outward expression. What you look upon is a living spirit. Greet and respect it. Appreciate it for what it is. Ask yourself, what does it feel like to be this creature? What does the world look like through its eyes? Become aware of the great antiquity within those eyes, the millennia of evolution they hold within their gaze. Sense a solitude you can never fully enter into or understand. Be aware that this is a being who has known hardships and hurts you can never imagine. This is a being who has known moments of wildness and innocence that you can never share. Yet this is a creature who is alive and has desires like you. It walks the same ground and breathes the same air. It feels pain and enjoys its senses, the dazzling warmth of the sun, the cooling shade of the forests, the refreshing taste of pure water, as you do. And in this, we are all kin. In that kinship, all life exists. Through that kinship, we can find wholeness. Out of that kinship, we can draw wisdom and understanding for the healing of our common home. so beautiful, Diane. Thank you. E.B. White, the beloved author of Charlotte's Web, Stuart Little, Trumpet of the Swan, and other books with animal protagonists, once said, "I arise in the morning torn between a desire to prove or save the world and a desire to enjoy or savor the world. This makes it hard to plan the day." I relate. But what if the best way to save the world is actually to savor it? What if the force that leads us most reliably to courage, action, and commitment to the common good is quite simply love? We've all seen the bumper stickers, bark less, wag more, hiss less, purr more for the cat lovers. And my personal favorite, God, make me the person my dog thinks I am. There's a way in which loving our pets makes us kinder, more compassionate, and more open to wonder and joy. The need to care for them grounds us in the present. The world may be going to hell in a handbasket, but we still need to walk the dog, feed the cat, clean the fish bowl, water the plants. Having living things to tend and love makes us better humans. It pulls us out of our self-absorption and helps us recognize that we are connected, part of that web of life I keep talking about. The web, it's woven of love. Now, I don't want to imply that pets are important only because they make us better people. I believe all animals and probably all living things have an experience all their own. They've got inherent worth and dignity, just like us. But what I'm getting at is that change isn't sustainable when it's driven by guilt or expectations, by the shoulds. We're able to shift and grow and become better when we understand our changes as acts of love. Entering into relationship with another living thing, pet, animal, or plant, transforms us, as all relationships do. When the I that is in me meets a thou, a sacred other, it opens a door. And if we choose to walk through that door, we can embrace a new perspective given to us as a gift from a wise teacher. Everyone and everything becomes a wise teacher when we move through the world this way. In Guardians of Being, Spiritual Teachings from Our Dogs and Cats, Eckhart Tolle writes, "What is it that so many people find enchanting in animals? Their essence, their being, is not covered up by the mind, as it is in most humans. And whenever you feel that essence in another, you also feel it in yourself. Every being is a spark of the divine or God. Look into the eyes of the dog or cat and sense that innermost core. When you are present, you can sense the spirit, the one consciousness in every creature, and love it as yourself. Love is a deep empathy with the other's beingness. You recognize yourself, your essence, in the other. You are not separate from the whole. You are one with the sun, the earth, the air, the animals, the plants. Our lives are touched by animals all the time, and our lives touch theirs. Every time we see a bird on the other side of our window or the Canada geese fly over us in formation, every time we hear the peeper frogs sing or watch a hawk swoop down into a wheat field, we're reminded that there are stories unfolding all around us that have nothing to do with us, but are no less important than our human ones. When we see moose or deer in the distance, or catch a glimpse of a coyote on the hillside, or go and visit the family of foxes that live behind that one red barn on the way to Good Sam, and see them playing together early in the morning, we are reminded that life is a miracle and a mystery. And then there are the domestic animals who for thousands of years have lived their lives not as pets, but in partnership with us. Horses and cows and burros and llamas and camels and sheep and chickens and pigs and alpacas and ducks. We teach our toddlers the noises that these animals make. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. But when we sing that song, what we learn is that we don't exist in isolation. We only exist in relationship. I remember a trip to the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. when my own kids were toddlers. A rhino approached the fence and it looked me right in the eye. I could see all of the folds in its skin, all of the remarkable adaptations. In that moment, it was as clear as if it had spoken out loud to me in English, and it said, humans are not the only end product of evolution. Every creature has evolved over billions of years, and each species is just as precious as yours. Largely because of poachers who wanted their horns, black rhinos went extinct in 2011. You know, if all people had had the opportunity to have a rhino look them in the eye the way I did, to hear its wisdom, if we were taught to see rhinos as subjects, as holy and sacred, the miraculous product of billions of years of evolution, if we were taught to love and value them this way, we would simply be incapable of making the choices of action or inaction that lead to the destruction of yet another species. Now I know those of us who see and know and care about these things don't always feel like we have the power to make the necessary changes. And it's a horrible feeling to be powerless, to be standing here watching the train wreck coming and not being able to stop it. It is a horrible, horrible feeling. A lot like the pain and grief and helplessness we feel when we lose a beloved pet, actually. But this community is a place where we hold these horrible feelings and stay with them and move through them and come out the other side in order to reclaim hope and a sense of agency. Love is never a mistake. Caring is never a mistake. Loss and pain are part of a package deal, an unavoidable part of life. When we immerse ourselves in life, when we love without holding back, we know what is right for us to do. We intuitively grasp what small steps are ours to take. What's being asked of us in this time is not to save the whole world or the endangered species single-handedly, but to be present to our own life fully enough so that we can find the next step or two in our own particular life journey. So, love, savor, wag, purr, be the person your dog thinks you are, and greet everything and everyone with that kind of enthusiasm. Oh, you are such a good world. Yes, you are. You are such a good world. You are such a good dog. Are you a good dog, Molly? She's actually stayed here through this whole service. She's never done that before. She usually sleeps under the table. It's like she knows this is for her. Anyway, bless the people you encounter. Honor their presence and the mystery behind their eyes. Bless the animals you encounter as wise teachers, and bless the world in whatever ways feel right and good. Life is such a gift. May we never take it for granted. So be it, and blessed be.
On October 1st, a handful of people brought their critters to PCEI to be blessed. It was a beautiful day, and the dogs at least seemed relaxed and happy, tolerant of the strange new humans and delighted by their new doggy friends. I'm not sure how the guinea pigs felt. Each critter was blessed using these words. May you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you know only love and gentleness all the days of your life. For this morning's virtual blessing, I won't be able to give each pet scritches and pats, so I'm asking for your help. As we move through the photos of these precious animals, let's send waves of blessing and love through both the interdependent web and the internet. Fishy and Treasure Dibble, Cassie Hendrickson, Ace Metzler, Zoe and Buster Dickinson. May each of you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you only know love and gentleness all the days of your life. Agate Becker, is a Ridgeback boxer mix that Agate Becker rescued 4 years ago. They're a registered Pet Partners Therapy team. They visit nursing homes, schools, local libraries, safety fairs, and they meet with UI students during finals week. They're also active with a local group called Palouse Paws. Annie Rathman, Pandy or Pandemic Hamilton, Alfonso and Mariah Jennings, Rosie, Pumpkin, and Peaches Yuri. May each of you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you only know love and gentleness all the days of your life. Dolly Webb, Honey and Grizz Seaver, Mike Gibler, Pumpkins and Copper LeBeau, Baxter and Dobby Luna. May each of you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you only know love and gentleness all the days of your life. Gomez and Montgomery Peterson Pope, Ritter Yoder LeBeau, Molly Stevens. May each of you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you only know love and gentleness all the days of your life. June and Mabel Salisbury, Tony Cadgett Smudged Cloud and Tilly Dog Scott, Ellie Arbor Green. May each of you live a long, happy, and blessed life. May you always have food in your belly, a warm place to sleep, and joy in your days. May you only know love and gentleness all the days of your life. If you weren't able to send in a picture of your pet, I encourage you to bless him or her in your own time and in your own way. Amen, and blessed be.
And now let's sing together, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky.
All creatures of the earth and sky, come kindred, lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia, bright burning sun with golden breeze.
Our closing reading comes from the novel Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. And in the passage, a minister is reflecting on his own life in a letter to his young son. And he's speaking about a time when he and a bunch of his friends blessed a litter of kittens they found in a barn. I still remember how those warm little brows felt under the palm of my hand. Everyone has petted a cat, but to touch one like that with the pure intention of blessing it is a very different thing. It stays in the mind. For years, we would wonder what, from a cosmic point, we had done to them. It still seems to me to be a real question. There's a reality in blessing. It doesn't enhance sacredness, but it acknowledges it. And there's a power in that. I have felt it pass through me, so to speak. The sensation is one of really knowing a creature. I mean, really feeling its mysterious life and your own mysterious life at the same time. Let's join in our sung benediction, There Is a Love. Let's go ahead and blow out or snuff out our chalice flames with these words. We extinguish this chalice that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light our paths as we leave this place. May it guide our way until we are together again. We are part of the web of all life. We're also held by the web of all life. And that web is woven out of love. Lean into it, be grateful for it, be present to it, be present to the miracle and the mystery. And know that whatever comes next, you're never alone.